If it feels like you're hearing about vaccine side effects impacting women more than men, that's because women are reporting more reactions. They range from mild to severe, and in some extremely rare cases, they can be life-threatening.
The FDA and CDC calling for a pause in the use of the single-dose shot out of an abundance of caution.
Was a pause necessary in your view?
Yes, I believe it was necessary for a couple of reasons.
So what's going on here? Why does it seem like vaccine reactions are stronger in women? According to the CDC, women have reported over 70% of vaccine side effects so far. And to be clear, as of mid-February, when over 55 million people had received one or more doses of the vaccine, there were only about 6,000 total reports of serious side effects. And it's not known how many of those reports are directly tied to the vaccines.
The most common side effects women are reporting are nausea, fatigue, headaches, localized pain at the site of injection, some swelling, and then some people are also reporting some muscle aches, not just on the side of the injection, but in other parts of their body as well.
By contrast, fewer men are reporting side effects, but when they do, they tend to be more serious flu-like symptoms like fever or chills.
In general, we do think this reflects what we've seen in years of research, where women tend to report all side effects, and men tend to only report the severe ones. We see these same differences in other vaccines. Nobody's ever studied why.
So some of this could be explained by a reporting bias. But then there's the higher numbers of women experiencing anaphylaxis or a severe allergic reaction after receiving the Moderna and Pfizer shots. And the blood clots linked to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine only impacted women.
Out of 7.9 million doses of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine given in the United States, there have been a total of 15 cases of incredibly severe blood clots, which have led to 3 deaths and 7 people currently hospitalized in the ICU, all women, all under the age of 50, with no one characteristic that unifies them all other than that they were women.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine uses a technology that's similar to the AstraZeneca shot. And over in Europe, blood clots linked to AstraZeneca also affected higher numbers of women than men.
This severe clot is somewhat of what I would call the worst side effect. And we don't know what the cause is exactly, but we do think that gender or sex at birth plays a role.
Some, but not all, of the women who've experienced these blood clots were taking birth control.
We do have data that if you take an oral contraceptive, you are already at a higher risk of blood clots, period. Add to that the potential, if you take a vaccine that could put you at risk for a blood clot, could there be an interaction? It's possible.
But we don't have enough information to know for sure because the vaccine trials didn't look for a potential link between birth control and a higher risk of blood clots. The early stage research also left out pregnant or breastfeeding women.
We have just never really done a great job in our country around research of the effect of gender on drugs, treatments, devices of any kind. And what we're seeing with vaccines is another good example.
That brings me to another question. We're seeing reports of women who are experiencing heavier flow during their menstrual cycles or irregularity during their cycles after they get a dose of the vaccine. Is there a possible connection there?
It's hard to right now make a link, and I would hesitate for anyone to make a link to the vaccine itself. I would probably bet that this is more likely related to the fact that the human body, if it feels like it's trying to develop an immune response, the whole body responds.
There's no data to show the COVID-19 vaccine directly affects a woman's cycle, but a University of Illinois professor is currently conducting a survey to learn more. One theory we can debunk for sure is this idea of shedding the shot, that somehow vaccine side effects can rub off on people who haven't even been vaccinated.
There is zero biological link to anything that is injected in the form of a vaccine to any fluids that go outside of your body through your sweat or even from like the effect of touch.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is back into circulation after a CDC panel gave it their blessing, with the suggestion that the FDA include a warning label for women under 50. But remember, even after all the side effects we've just discussed, based on everything we know right now with more than 130 million Americans getting the vaccine so far, the risks associated with COVID-19 outweigh any risks associated with a vaccine designed to protect you from it.